Top Sports Talk, presented to you by Top Sports News. We're getting close to the end of season 1 of Top Sports Talk. But before we get started, as always, want to introduce my co-host here, Isaac Deer, the great Isaac Deer, who has been everywhere this last week. You name it, softball, soccer, just everywhere, doing everything. So how are you doing, Isaac?
I am good. I am happy. I'm a little sad that the season is coming to a close. The spring sports season has been a blast, but the worst thing about spring sports, everybody's graduating. Everybody's got stuff going on. The season comes to a close a lot faster than we think and what it should. But we should definitely get more games in there. I'm kind of hinting at that. But I'm great, man. I'm great. Everything's going well. You and I, college graduates. Hey, now, I think we might have mentioned it on the last episode. I haven't quite got mine yet. But, because they don't actually, here's a spoiler alert for future college graduates that are watching this episode. When they hand you that little thing that looks very official, that looks like it has a bachelor's degree sitting in there or master's or whatever, there's nothing in there. It's just a folded up, cool looking cover thing. And but there's nothing in there yet. So when I get my thing this summer, I'll make sure to hang it proud behind my head. But anyways, I'm just kind of rambling at this point. But I'm great, Caleb. I'm great.
Yes. So before we get going, we want to thank our gold sponsors, as always, Vista Credit Union and the Family Guidance Center and the University of Kansas Health System St. Francis campus for continuing to sponsor Top Sports News. Also, there's only a few weeks left, but keep using the ticker, keep putting scores, stats, results, times, anything you want to put in there, you can put in there as long as it relates to Shawnee County sports, as people are very interested in everything going on. So, yeah, let's just hop right into it. We had softball regionals. We figured out who was going to state. We had some really, really good games. With the one we're going to start off with was a big time, I don't want to say surprise because Rossville's a really good team, but Silver Lake all year was the number one team in Class 3A. So Rossville avenging its 2 losses from earlier in the season with a 4-1 victory over Silver Lake in a rivalry-filled regional match was definitely one to watch out for.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was there for this one. And I want to get this off my chest before we get going here. It bugs the living heck out of me that we have to see these two teams, and it seems like every sport, battle it out for a regional championship to go to state. Softball in particular, these two teams, I think 1A, 1B, 1 and 2. So you have, and it's not to disrespect or slight any other 3A team in the state. I think Silver Lake and Rossville were that good that they could have been facing off in the state championship. Except one team, Silver Lake, is going to be at home, which 4 through 6A, they have a really good setup in terms of the way brackets are set up and everything else. And 2 through 1A, you think about Troy and McLouth, who battled for a regional championship, and I think those teams were 1 and 2 and 2 through 1A. And Troy's not going to be able to go to this tournament. Silver Lake's not going to go to this tournament. But I think that this definitely could be set up better. And I think this would have been a Silver Lake Rossville state championship game would be amazing. I've seen it in football where Silver Lake was sent home. And Silver Lake had a great chance to win a state championship, and Rossville and Silver Lake in a state tournament setting on any sport, seems like, though. But this one in particular bugged me a little bit more because all year long they've just been 1 and 2, and I feel like the 2 best teams in the state were competing in this regional championship match. So that was kind of a bummer a little bit, but at the same time, congratulations to Rossville. What an amazing story! What an amazing finish to the season, because Silver Lake got them twice to begin the year. In the regular season, Silver Lake slapped them at a doubleheader in their house, in Silver Lake's house. So Rossville coming back to that very field where they lost twice on, not slighted, not hanging their head one bit, gets 2 really, really big wins against Silver Lake. And it was very interesting. Rossville played the second regional semifinal game against Sabetha, where they took 4-0 win against Sabetha in that one. And then just immediately after, they have Silver Lake, and they had this just this humongous energy boost, like right out of the gate, right when the game started, right when first pitch started. Rossville had this humongous, enormous energy boost, and it was evident really early. And right away, the offense was started by Emma Mitchell. She's Rossville Junior. She got an RBI single, and then I think 2 innings later, she had another RBI single, and then she would capitalize on a Silver Lake error. She would come home. She basically have 3 runs that she was responsible for in the very beginning of the game. So it was 3-0. The final score was 4-1. So Emma Mitchell's impact was insane. And then Katie Spielman and Brinley Deich combined to pitch in that one. I think Deich had the start. She pitched a little over 2 innings. But the interesting thing about Katie Spielman in the first game, she had some intense dehydration issues. So she was supposed to start the semifinal game against Sabetha, but she had to leave early because she was dehydrated. So Brinley Deich had to come out from center field to pitch that game, which was not what she was probably planning on doing, but she gutted it out, finished it. And then Katie Spielman came back in game 2, got the win, and then in the regional championship. And she had an insanely gutsy and admirable performance, especially coming back after having a really bad dehydration. And she said she was stressed out because of the game itself, and she admitted to me afterwards that she had way too many Red Bulls and she was too amped up for the game. So but yeah, so she had that, and then it was just a complete performance to fend off Silver Lake and to jump on Silver Lake early with offense, because runs are hard to come by against Silver Lake too, because that defense is solid. That pitching core, the starters of Avery Wendy and Kendra Cook are one of the best 1-2 combos in the entire state. So getting that early offense from Emma Mitchell and from everybody else was huge. And then for their defense to hold Silver Lake off for the remainder of the game, to keep it 4, I think it was 4-1 final. Mackenzie McDaniel had her second home run of the day. She had 1 home run against Rossville and 1 against Jeff West. But Rossville played a complete performance. It was one of the most impressive performances I've seen defensively all year. But a big congratulations to them for pulling that off, and hats off to Silver Lake for an amazing year. Definitely doesn't go unnoticed. But yeah, that was a classic game. It would have been even more classic if it was a state tournament setting. I wouldn't even say championship. I'll say state tournament setting. But great job from Rossville on that, though. That was one heck of a performance from the Dogs.
Yeah, for sure. And then moving on to Class 5A, Shawnee Heights rides a 4-3 victory over St. James Academy and a 3-0 victory over DeSoto to advance to the 5A state tournament.
Yeah, they get a quick victory. Well, not quick, but they get a victory over St. James Academy. I think in the first one, 4-3, but then that last game against DeSoto, 3-0 victory. That was kind of good for Shawnee Heights because as a team they've already seen twice. I think a team they've already beaten twice. So, but what do they say? Facing a team 3 times is is the most dangerous situation you can be in. But they pulled it off. Ellery Adams and Grace Proctor, they both combined to get the win in game 1 against St. James. Adams pitched 4 innings and Proctor pitched the remaining 3. I think they also combined for 10 strikeouts as well. And Adams having 7 with the majority of innings and Proctor having 3. Audrey Schulte brought in a couple of RBIs. Taylor Breeze had 1. So that contributed to the 4-3 win big time for sure. And then the shutout to go to the 5A state tournament was very impressive. We talk about Grace Proctor all the time. She had a huge hand in why they went to the state tournament. She pitched 3 innings in game 1 against St. James, and then she pulled off a complete game, game 2, 7 innings against DeSoto in the regional championship. She had a complete game shutout, 7 innings, 13 strikeouts. She gave up just 1 hit, no runs. Extremely impressive stuff. Spencer Habig had 2 RBIs. Carlin Bowman had 1, and that's all they really needed offensively because defensively, Shawnee Heights was just that good. But the Thunderbirds are dancing. They are dancing, and it was big time defensive performances in both games. But Shawnee Heights has a really good chance in this tournament, I believe, and there's a lot of great young players. There's really good pitching from Adams and Proctor all year long, and I think I think if you have good pitching at this stage of the year, I think you're in good hands, especially if you make it to the tournament, which is already a big deal. But congratulations to Shawnee Heights for winning a regional championship.
Yeah, all it takes is one team to get hot, and then you never know what can happen after that. Washburn Rural is headed back to the 6A state tournament for the fifth straight time after posting a pair of convincing wins in the 6A regional hosted by Washburn University.
Yeah, and I think I included in my story that Washburn Rural barely broke a sweat in that game. In both games, really. In the first game, it was 17 to nothing over Wichita Southeast. So it was a quick 3 innings for Washburn Rural. I think they had an 11-run first inning, and they just kind of intentionally got themselves out until they got to 15, kind of thing. So it wasn't really much of a story in the first game. Campus kind of gave them a little bit of a challenge in the second game. It was a 6-0 win, so still really convincing, and it was still a big time win. And there wasn't much trouble in Washburn Rural's end, but there's a big story coming out of this, though. You know, you think about it, they were just 1 run short last year from winning a 6A state title. They were in that state championship game. Right across from them was Nija Kennedy, who is doing amazing things in the Pac-12. She is absolutely dominating at Stanford right now. It was a 2-1 game. I think Topeka High beat Washburn Rural, but now they're back. Now they have a chance to take back that grueling loss against its city rival from a year ago. And the 6A field, I think, is pretty even. There's a lot of talent on every team this year in the tournament. I think that it'll be a challenging tournament, but Washburn Rural definitely has a chance. You know, compared to everybody else, I think Washburn Rural definitely has a good chance, and I think they should be, you know, even at a 3 seed, I think they should be considered to be the favorite to win this title, just because of the experience that they bring back, the pitching. You got Emerson Cope, Piper Titsworth. Both of them are quality starters who would be one or two. You know, they'd be a starter on any team in this state. And you know, and your head coach Elizabeth Stover, who has been just amazing since her time being on the coaching staff since 2018. Washburn Rural has made the state tournament 5 times, and Stover has been on the coaching staff since 2018. So you do the math. She's been on this staff every single year that they've been to the state tournament. People love playing for her. She's a great person, but yeah, Washburn Rural's defense, I just talked about them a little bit, is great. It is solid. Not much you can really take away that, you know, you think about it, it's like, yeah, the defense is going to be there for them. But their offense has really been an interesting thing. You know, they've been really, really good. They have a good core of freshmen, sophomores, you know, who I think about automatically at the top of my head is Reagan Chapman. She's a freshman. She can swing it. Nadia Way. She's really good. She had a 2-run blast, I think, against Wichita Southeast in that first game. But, you know, you have your experience as well. You have Emerson Cope, who had a home run. You have Casey Bath, who's also there. You have Chloe Carlgren, Gabby Martinez, you name it. They are just kind of stacked 1 through 9. Ava Fowler, all of them. But yeah, so I think Washburn Rural, in terms of the state tournaments, in a really good situation. And I think they're playing the best softball that they've been playing all year. And I think they're sitting at 19 wins and 3 losses on the year. So I think they're in really good shape heading to Lawrence this week. So I'm excited to see it. There's a spoiler alert too. I'm excited to go see them. So I'm pumped to see what they can do.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun one to watch. Moving over to baseball, where we're gonna start with a team that's couldn't be any more familiar, I don't think, with the state tournament, with Seaman making history last Tuesday as they earned a trip to the state tournament for the 19th straight time with a 4-2 regional championship win over Lansing. 19 years. 19 years ago, I was 3 years old. And now I'm covering this team. Like, it's ridiculous.
How do you even, I can't even put into words how crazy that is. 19 straight years you make it to the state tournament. Yeah, the Seaman Viking program has been a staple in Kansas baseball for a very long time. Such a long story of success. Kids that just want to go out there and play baseball with the Viking on their helmet, Viking on their hat. or I guess in this case, a big old S on the hat, half blue, half red. I think the red's on top and blue's on the bottom, or vice versa, one or the other. But 19 straight years, that is truly incredible. You can't do it without a great supporting cast, great leadership, and I think the continued success, and I think the consistency of great leadership that Seaman has had for what seems like an eternity. You just mentioned it. You were 3 years old since the last time that they missed, 2 or 3 since the last time they missed the tournament. Man, how cool is it though? You know, when you think about the seniors, you think about Bryson Vaughter, who had a hand in this victory to send them back to the state tournament. He allowed two hits, 2 runs, struck out 9 against Lansing. But yeah, Vaughter himself, because this team is stacked, but Vaughter himself, he's really been a key piece for this Viking program for the past 4 years. One of the best pitchers in the state as well. But you look 1 through 9, they are just deep, man. They are deep. Their starting pitchers are great. Their bullpen is solid. They have a great offensive core. I think Seaman has an amazing chance in this tournament to keep writing history, keep writing its pages, I guess I would say. But yeah, I think Seaman has a great chance here. And I think this roster itself is really, really good too. They've been so good all year long, and I think that they have an amazing chance to kind of secure what they want. But I know how athletes roll. I know how coaches roll. It's one game at a time. We're going to focus on one game, and then we'll worry about the rest after that, which is actually a good motto to use in life too. But yes, congratulations to the Seaman Vikings. 19 straight times of making the state tournament. That is one incredible feat.
Yeah, for sure. And then moving on to Topeka High, who ends the decades-long state drought with an 11-win past campus to clinch a spot in the 6A state tournament. So Seaman and Topeka High end in 2 completely different places, but both find themselves in the state tournament this year.
Yeah, it's been so long for Topeka High. We don't know when. We actually have no idea the last time that they made a state tournament, which makes this this win over campus to get to the state tournament so incredible. It was a dominant win too. It was 11-1. I mean, it was a dominant win to get to the tournament. But I think in Rick Peterson's story, he said the indications are that the last time they made the state tournament is in the 60-year range. So yeah, it's been a long time since Topeka High has done something this great in baseball, and I couldn't be more happier for everybody involved in that program. And that, you know, Cody Miller, a great dude. He's the head coach for Topeka High. He knew they were going to do it. I think in Rick's story, he said when he woke up, he just felt like that today was the day that they were going to do it. And you know, they have really good upperclassmen too. That's kind of helped lead this cast. Nate Plakenton in the mound, as well as Ty Votaw, Elijah Kincaid, Peyton Wheat. There's a lot of really good players here that they deserve to be in this tournament. It's a great story that's been so long that they've seen this kind of success, but they definitely deserve to be here. And 6A is a deep tournament, but I think Topeka High deserves to be there with everybody else. And I think that they are set up right now. They have so much momentum riding with them, and I think momentum is a dangerous thing, especially this time of year. I think they're 16-6 now, but they'll have a good time at Hoagland next week, or Hoagland, however you pronounce KU's field. I'm not sure. Hoagland? Is it Hoagland or Hoagland?
I think it's Hoagland? One of those two. It's Hoagland or Hoagland.
One of those two. Yeah, but this Trojan roster is really good. Great offense. The defense is solid. Nate Plakenton's been one of the best pitchers around all year long, and I think Topeka High is set up in a really, really good position, and I think that they can make some noise. And I think this season doesn't have to stop right here after this heck of a ride and a heck of a win that they had against campus. I feel like that with the momentum that they have, the cast that they have, the leadership that they have, they can just keep this train going for as long as they want, because they're just as talented as anybody in this 6A tournament.
Yeah, for sure. And then wrapping up baseball on a little bit of a tougher note, Hayden dropped a tough 6-4 decision to Chanute in the 4A regional to end their season.
Yeah, this was an interesting game. I was there for this one. It was at Ottawa University. It got moved from Orlis Cox Sports Complex down in Ottawa. It got moved to Ottawa University's field because the rain has not been kind to spring sports the last 2 or 3 weeks. But and that was kind of the theme with Hayden's season too, because like you think about it, they really didn't play a baseball game for like 2 or 3 weeks before this tournament game, because of rain, and they didn't even get to practice the day before this regional because of rain. So it's been tough for them, and this was a really good team that I thought could compete in the state tournament. And Bill Arnold told me the same thing. He's like, I think this team was good enough to win a state title, make a run at a state title. And I agree with him wholly. But the Chanute game was really interesting because Chanute kind of got the upper hand early. They got I think it was a 2-0 lead through the first couple of innings, and then Hayden rebounded in I'd like to say the third or the fourth inning. They had a 4-run inning or 3-run inning, and then after that, Chanute and Hayden were both quiet offensively till the top of the seventh, where it was 3-3, or excuse me, 3-2, and Chanute had a 4-run inning to with just RBI triple, RBI double, RBI double. This was all in the seventh inning, so it was a true heartbreaker for Hayden, and its fans and supporters and everything else. It was a heartbreaker for him, but yeah, the Mother Nature was not kind to Hayden the last couple of weeks, but it was one heck of a season for this group because this group was really, really good. Jackson Summers, one of the seniors on this team, he had a great year. Cooper Grace is becoming one of the top pitchers in the state, and he's just a sophomore. I can go down the list as far as how many people impacted this team to have a successful year that they did. Yeah, it was a horrible loss and it was not a good way to end the season, but this team was very, very good. And I feel like that they definitely could have made a run in different circumstances for sure.
Yeah, tough way to lose for sure. Moving on to soccer, Washburn Rural easily took care of business in a 10-0? Is that how you say it? 10-0 Mercy Rule blowout that took one half against Wichita South in the first round before advancing to the state tournament in a 3-0 victory over Derby last Friday.
Yeah, that that Wichita South game, I was on my way home from Hayden and I stopped by Rural to check this game out. Right on time, by the way. I was very happy with myself. The timing was impeccable. But yes, I got to Washburn Rural High School, McElroy Field, and it was quick work for the Junior Blues that day. It was they had their starters out for a majority of the half because they just scored so quickly. But it was an interesting victory. It was a lot of, we're going to get some of the younger players time, but at the same time we're going to try to make sure our goalkeeper gets a goal, because Haley Beck, who's been on defense all year, she's been begging coach to put her in, play some offense this year. And then he finally Brian Hensel finally came through and made the goalkeeper a striker for a good 10 minutes. She didn't get a goal, but it was fun. She had a great time, and that's all that really matters. But Maya Hug, Kate Hink, they both had 2 goals. Delaney Hill, Peyton Merrick, Savannah Tuffy, Emma Wong, McKinley Roan, they all had goals as well. McKinley Roan had 3 assists, which was pretty awesome because it was so quick. She also had the last goal of the game right before halftime to make it 10-0, to make sure that 10-0, excuse me, to end the game for him. But yeah, and then that Derby victory, we knew Derby was going to present a little bit more of a challenge than Wichita South. Was it Wichita Southeast? Wichita Southeast, right? Or South?
Got Wichita South right here.
South, got it. Perfect. But yeah, it was Derby was going to present a little bit more of a challenge than Wichita South did. McKinley Roan had a big impact in this game too. She had a goal late in the first half, and then she contributed with an assist. And Washburn Rural had 2 second half goals that were kind of insurance for them to buy themselves a bid in the 6A quarterfinals. But Haley Beck, we just talked about her a second ago, trying to score a goal and didn't work out, but she had an amazing defensive performance once again against a really good Derby team. And so yeah, Haley Beck's been great. The back line has been stellar. That defense has been great all year. All year long, it's like, okay, the offense is finally getting it together, but the defense has just been a staple for them. But Washburn Rural, I think they're playing really good right now, and I think if they have their heads focused, I think that they're able to really put up a threat in the 6A tournament, especially just one game short last year. They lost in the state championship against Blue Valley West, an insanely good Blue Valley West team last year. One of the better teams I've seen in a while. But yeah, I think Washburn Rural is in really good hands right now, and I think they with what they have going for them, I think they can make it run here.
Yeah, for sure. And then Seaman blew out UKC foe Lansing 9-0 in the first round of the 5A regional before dropping a 4-1 match to state powerhouse St. Thomas Aquinas.
Yeah, that one stings a little bit to end the season off because Seaman had such a great year this year. They got a really impressive 9-0 win against Lansing to open up the tournament. 5 goals in the first half, 4 in the second half. I think they had 30 total shot attempts. That'll tell you what side of the field that they were playing mostly on against Lansing. Megan Mills, she had another clean sheet. One of many this year, a ton. She had a ton of shutouts this year. JC Schumann had a 3-goal hat trick. Brooklyn Yingling, Ava Golightly, they all had goals too. And I think before the half was over, I think Ryan Miller and McKenna Schuler also had goals in the Lansing victory. But yeah, that it's a tough one when you have St. Thomas Aquinas as your opponent before the state tournament, because St. Thomas Aquinas is one of the perennial powerhouses in Kansas State history. That soccer team that they throw out every spring is always good. I think they're the back-to-back defending 5A state champions too. So St. Thomas is legit, and they've been legit for a very long time. But I think Seaman was tied or they trailed by just a goal for 77 minutes of the match. So the final score says 4-1, but it was a lot closer than that for nearly the entire match. So it hats off to Seaman for one heck of a fight. I know St. Thomas is a brutal opponent to face at the end, but one great year for Seaman. Very impressive, very, very impressive. After having a solid year the year before, they really just were dominant this year, and they were a lot of fun to watch. I know Tim Nussbaum, the head coach for Seaman, I know he was happy with the result that they had, even in the loss to end the year. But man, that was a great team this year. But hats off to them for battling through to the end.
Yeah, and then talking about another really good team in Cair Paravel. One of the best, if not the best team in 4A through 1A, won a regional title with a 4-0 shutout over Eudora.
Yeah, and truly one of the smallest teams in 4 through 1A too, and they've outside of a tie against Hayden and a double overtime loss to Seaman, Cair Paravel has been the team this year. They've been the number 1 team through 4 through 1A. They got a bye in this regional because of the success that they've had. All they needed was just one win to advance to the state quarterfinal, and they did it in style. 4-0 against Eudora, took them down with ease. Big Cair Paravel got the scoring started 23 minutes, I'd like to say, into the first half from Zara Fries, and Zara Fries is usually really good at scoring. So if you need a goal, you just bank on her because she's been great all year. Kellyanne Chada, freshman, she's been amazing all year long too. I think she was our thumbnail. She was part of the thumbnail last week from last week's episode. Kellyanne Chada has been great. I think Catherine Keys, another stellar scorer, also had a goal. Sage Schwartz had a goal. Kellyanne Chada, I think, also had a couple of assists. But yeah, another shutout by Sawyer Schwartz as well. But Cair Paravel has got as good of a chance to win a state title as anybody, and I think that that's what they're going for now. They were eliminated by Bishop Miege last year, who's a powerhouse in 4 through 1A. So I'd like to say at the very end of Todd Fertig's story, when he was interviewing Doug Woolery, who's the head coach for Cair Paravel, it's got an interest. I highlighted this is interesting that he's like, I'd like to see Miege in the Final Four. It's not that I'm afraid to play them. I think we compete with them. I just think it'd be a great game in the state tournament. I'm not putting the cart before the horse. Whoever's on the other side of the pitch, we have to play them. But it'd be amazing to see Cair Paravel and Bishop Miege go at it for a rematch because those are two stellar teams. But for Cair Paravel to be one of these smaller teams in 4 through 1A to be as good as they are, second year, I think in Acacia, maybe even more than that. To be as good as they are is just stellar. It's a testament to how good that program is and everybody around them that's kind of contributing to it.
Yeah, for sure. And then wrapping it up with our sports. Well, I guess the whole show is sports, but wrapping it up with soccer, which is our last sport we're going to talk about before getting to our Fave 5. Hayden advanced to the regional championship after a 4-0 win over Augusta. Then Hayden punched his ticket to the state tournament after going on the road and defeating Rose Hill.
Yeah, I think six combined goals to nothing allowed. That tells you a big story about how this regional tournament went. But Hayden dominated in the midfield once again, dominated on the back line. And again, I guess you'd like to say to end the season for the first time since 2019 that they're in this tournament. A lot of it has to do with how good the defense has been, but their striking has been incredible. Reese Husher, Jill Leonard, Carson Broxterman, everybody else, Brianna Barnett, they've all been so good offensively. But yeah, even they could have done more damage, I believe, against Augusta. But honestly, at this point of the season, it doesn't really matter how you win. It's just a matter if you win to keep your season alive. But Sloan Sims and Carson Broxman each had 2 goals, each for Hayden against Augusta to get the 4-0 win. And Brianna Barnett also had a couple of assists with this. Brianna Barnett would also have 2 more assists against Rose Hill, and the same supporting cast that scored the goals against Augusta also did against Rose Hill. Carson Broxman had a goal, and Sloan Sims each had a goal. But Hayden is in that state tournament, and that team is scary good. The team is really, really good, and I believe that they pose a legitimate threat for sure. And I think this is one of the better teams in this tournament. So the state quarterfinals is here, and I think Hayden's one of those teams you got to watch out for because they are clicking right now, and especially in that back line, they're doing everything to get that ball out of the way, but they are playing some phenomenal soccer right now. So you got to keep a lookout for them.
Let's get into our favorite segment of the week.
The award-winning segment: rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Okay. Are we
I
good?
ain't messing around this time.
Not scripted. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Okay. Every time, I promise we do not rehearse.
Completely random.
Not rehearse. I'll put my social security on the line for this. All right. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Golly. Okay. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Oh, buddy. It is getting intense now. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Oh, go Big Red. You know what they say. Dang.
All right. Well, feels good to win one again. I think I lost. I don't know if I lost a couple in a row, but it feels like it after. I think I lost last week for sure.
It's all right, man.
Starting it off, number 5. We're going to head over to the track. We're going to head over to Cair Paravel with Ben Roeder. Ben became the first ever Cair Paravel Latin athlete to qualify for the state track meet in Friday's Class 2A regional at Valley Heights. Roeder finished second in the 400-meter dash in 50.7 seconds and second in the 200 in 23.54 seconds to earn a trip to Wichita for state. So congratulations to Ben and congratulations to Cair Paravel for making history for the first time in their in Class 2A.
illustrious school life. Yes.
Yes.
My number 5. I don't do this very often. I don't usually, I need to do this more often, but there's only 3 episodes left, but I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to give it to a passing machine this time. I'm going to give it to McKinley Roan from Washburn Rural. You know what they say. The saying is alive, and the streets are talking death, taxes, and McKinley Roan sending up her teammates with excellent passing to get the scores in. She had 3 assists and a goal against Wichita South. Had a goal and assist against Derby. But all year long, there is nothing in my mind. There is not a more dangerous play in the county than McKinley Roan setting up that corner kick, putting an absolute dot in the middle to Brooklyn DeLay's head. That noggin usually will send a goal in. But if it's not to Brooklyn DeLay, it's to Addie Broxterman, Destiny Higgs, or the other 394 people in the box. It's usually a really good ball. Every single time it's been a good ball, but McKinley Roan is such a special talent, and I am happy that she's going to Washburn University next year with Haley Beck to tear it up. But yeah, McKinley Roan definitely gets a spot here this week for being good at the soccer. So congratulations, McKinley. She's made the list.
Congratulations. I'm going to stay on the track. And this time I'm going to talk about Hayden's track team and Jake Muller. Muller won the 300 hurdles in 38.78 seconds and also qualified for state in the 110 high hurdles after a third place finish in 16.01 seconds. Muller is also on the 4x1 and 4x3 teams that qualified for state. So shout out to you. You just made the list.
Yeah, and like the new Superman movie coming out, Spider-Man 2 on June 2nd, not advertised. My number 4 spot is also a superhero here. I'm going to go with Emma Mitchell from Rossville. She was a huge spark in that regional championship win against Silver Lake. RBI single right away in the first. She had another RBI single later, came around to score, beating a diving Silver Lake player at the plate to help get 3 out of the 4 runs in this game, and they only needed 4 runs to win the whole thing and go to state. So Emma Mitchell, complete athlete, I think a 3-sport athlete, but she was huge in this game, and they are dancing once again in the 3A state tournament. So congratulations, Emma Mitchell. You just made the list.
Congratulations. Going from the track to the pool. I'm going to talk about Avery Walls from Seaman. Avery Walls had a big day at the 5A state swimming meet. She posted a second place finish in the 200-yard individual medley in 2 minutes, 4.22 seconds, and a third in the 100 freestyle in 52.77, and teamed with her junior twin sister, Torin Walls, junior Avery Samuelson, and sophomore Jocelyn Grace for third place finish in the 200 free relay. Stay with me here. 1 minute, 44.65 seconds. And with the same 3 swimmers for a 5th place finish in the meet opening 200 medley relay, 1 minute, 44 seconds, 44.23 seconds. So very similar times there for the relays. But congratulations, Avery. You just made the list. That is a lot of numbers. That is a lot of numbers.
That's my dog doing all this math out here. I love it, man. Love it. Caleb, the swimming.
But this is for.
Times are hard, though. Yeah, that's what there's proof. There's proof.
Even though this required.
I'll have my proof soon, but.
This required minimal math work.
Me too. Yep. My course requirements. Yeah, my course requirements as well did not require a bunch of math. So that was not in the cards for me. It's never been in the cards for me. Kind of dumb, but I like watching sports. I'd like to say I'm pretty good at it. So with that being said, no more math for the rest of the day. There will be some numbers probably. But anyways, I'm going to go to my number 3 spot here. I'm going to go with Finn Dunshee of Hayden Track. Dunshee, absolute stud, won the 100-meter dash at the 4A regional in 10.98 seconds. That regional was hosted by Shawnee Mission North. Dunshee also qualified for state with his 100-meter, as well as the 4x1 team and the 4x4 team as well. And both of those teams, the 4x1 and 4x4, I believe, are tops in 4A for both of them. So he's been a big part of the success this year for Hayden. I think when Wichita this week, Hayden's going to be bringing back some gold. You think about the girls' team too. You got Natalie Hilbert there as well. I think that they have a really good chance. And I don't think that's a prediction. I think that's a spoiler. I think Hayden's going to have a really good week in Wichita this weekend. So just throw that out there. But yes, Finn Dungy, you dog. Congratulations. You just made the list.
My number 2 spot, someone we've talked about. I don't want to say more than enough because, I mean, she just keeps dominating. But what more can you ask for the future Husker, Emerson Cope, on the softball diamond? I mean, she's just dominating. In her one start, she had 11 strikeouts, had a complete game, and only allowed 2 hits and no runs in her win. And then in the second game, she wasn't in the circle, but she still did hit a bomb in the regional semifinal game. And she's just been unstoppable. And she's helped the Junior Blues, as Isaac said, go into this state tournament with many believing that they are the favorite to win it. So shout out Emerson Cope for making the list for the. I mean, has there been a week where she hasn't been on either one of our lists? I mean, maybe.
A couple due to rainouts, but
Right. As long as she's playing, she's been on the list. Let's just say
yeah,
that.
absolute stud. Emerson Cope is a once in a lifetime player. But yes, the first game against Wichita South, she sent that ball into orbit, and then in that second game where she just dominated in the circle because Campus is a really good team too, but Emerson made them look silly. So yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly. Like she is an amazing player. Nebraska is very lucky to have her next year.
Mhm.
But yeah, she's been so fun to watch, and I can't wait for her to do her thing this week in the state tournament as well with some really good teams. And I think Shawnee Mission North is the opener in the opening round, and Kelly Hawkstra is on the other side. She has been a stud as well for Shawnee Mission North. I believe she is also putting up numbers that make your eyes pop out of your head and like, wow. So this is going to be a classic between Shawnee
Mhm.
Mission North and Washburn Rural this year. And I believe Washburn Rural actually got the win against them the first time they met at the Olathe tournament. But anyways, we're going to stick with softball. 2 different teams, but we're going to stick with softball right here. We got to go to Tecumseh, man. We got to talk about that stud, Grace Proctor again. Grace Proctor, like Emerson Cope, has been on this list consistently and often. She pitched 10 combined innings in the regional tournament to help the T-Birds get back to state once again. In game 2 was very, very impressive defensively. She pitched a 7-inning shutout with 13 strikeouts, allowed just 1 measly hit. She's having an amazing year, and she's a big part of why Shawnee Heights has been so darn good all year long. And another reason why they're in this tournament. But congratulations to Grace Proctor, and congratulations for the Shawnee Heights Thunderbirds for making it back to state.
Yeah, 100%. And then we're going to stay in Tecumseh because my number 1 spot from Shawnee Heights, Jackson Esquibel for the track team. Esquibel pulled off the distance triple crown, winning the 800, 1600, and 3200 meter races at the 5A regional last week. The returning state medalist started the day with a victory in the 1600 at 4 minutes, 23.02 seconds, and won the 800 in 1 minute, 59 second. Jeez Louise. 1 minute, 59.55 seconds, and the 3200 in 9 minutes, 42.42 seconds. Shout out Jackson. You just made a list.
This is not a numbers pod. We are not numbers people. We can't do it. We try every week. I'm sorry to all the swimmers and the tracksters out there. We love and support each and every one of you, but my goodness, these numbers are horrifying for us. We cannot get it figured out. I feel like it could be a simple Google search for both of us, but both of us are just we didn't graduate in mathematics, didn't graduate in engineering. We graduated in sports talking. So but anyways, so yeah, I feel for you, Caleb, on that. But yes, congratulations to Jackson, though. He's been a stud all year long. It seems like Jackson and Lenny Narogi have had some instant classic battles, especially in the 1600 and the 3200. They've had really gone wire to wire, but Jackson's had an amazing year. I think Jackson's going to win a state tournament or a state championship this year. He was a state medalist a year ago. I feel like he's that good to a point where he could probably just win it this year. He's just been that good. But speaking of state champions, my number 1 here, I'm going to go to Scotland, where the Highland Park Scots, they run and they run fast, and they run hard, and they run a lot, and they run really, really good. I'm going to go with Trey flipping Richardson here as my number one spot. The defending 5A state champion in track ended off his last regional event in style. I'm not going to talk about Wendy's here, but I'm going to talk about him going a perfect 4 for 4 in his events at the Class 5A track and field regional at the Olathe District Athletic Complex. Trey Richardson, phenomenal on the gridiron in the fall. Pretty much a perfect point guard in the winter for the Scots in basketball. And in the spring, he just shows off why he's one of the most dominant athletes in the entire state. Trey Richardson won the 100 meter dash. He won the 200 meter dash. He won the long jump, and he won the triple jump. Capping off one of his one of the great stories in the state. And he's been one of the best athletes over the past 4 years. He's got another state title to chase this year. He had one last year. I feel like he might want to go get another one. So we'll see what he can show off. But I wouldn't be surprised if he accomplishes his goals and ends off his high school career with a state title.
Yeah, it'll be a fun one to watch for sure. He's been fun to watch literally all year.
Yeah,
since
literally.
last year. So yeah, it's been a journey for sure. But man, we're getting down to the end. What do we have? 2 episodes left. We got the recap show after all the state tournament stuff finishes. And then we got a special episode for you guys to wrap up the year. But we'll be back next week, as I just mentioned, with the recap video. We got state baseball happening this week, state track. So a lot of stuff's happening. And we will have you all covered next week with another episode of Top Sports Talk. Remember to like this video, subscribe, hit the bell so you never miss an episode. Isaac, you got anything else before we sign this thing off?
I'm excited to let the people know next week what our last episode of the year is going to be. I feel like it's going to be a fun one. It's not going to be a traditional Top Sports Talk episode. I'm excited to tell the people next week what we have planned for the week after. But buckle up, folks. There's going to be some people getting recognized. That's all I'll say.
Yeah,
for
sure.
Yeah.
But we'll see you guys next week.